Bonjour! Welcome to Interesting French Words with Dr. Sager. Today we're going to look at the verb acheter, which means to buy. It's a fairly simple verb to conjugate and work with, and it's fairly common. So it's a good one to have in your vocabulary. There's some really interesting things that I think are associated with this particular word. And so I'd just like to share that with you, and hopefully you find it interesting as well. First of all, the verb acheter comes from the Latin acceptere, which literally means searching for something or looking for something to take, which I think is interesting in itself because Romans, of course, were not known for being particularly polite when it came to other people's things. They tended to take a lot of things that didn't belong to them. As the centuries moved on, of course, the sense of looking for something to take, of course, became associated with paying for whatever it is that you're taking. So that moving to shop, you didn't just simply steal the wares; you paid for them. As Latin evolves into French, the first sort of French version of this verb, acheter, appears in the 10th century, so the 900s, and it's spelled Acheder, acheter, which meant to buy. As French continued to evolve by the 12th century, so 200 years later, we start seeing the verb acheter in a more recognizable form. We recognize the spelling. It's spelled a little differently, Achater, and it's not until around the 16th, I would say the 15th, 16th centuries that A transforms itself into the E. And so we get the modern spelling of acheter, which is the Acheter. So I think in that sense, it's a really interesting verb. Just some interesting facts around it. The verb acheter itself, as I mentioned at the start, means to buy. And it conjugates exactly like a regular ER verb. So we have j'achète, I buy, I am buying. Tu achètes, you buy, you are buying. Elle achète, he, she, they, gender neutral, buy. Nous achetons, we are buying, we buy. Vous achetez, you as in all of you, plural, buy, are buying. Ils, elles, and els achètent, they buy, they are buying. However, the verb acheter does something funny when you conjugate it in the present tense. You have to add an accent grave to the first E, except in the nous and vous forms. So when you are spelling the verb acheter, when you conjugate it with je, tu, il, elle, you have to add that accent. But when you conjugate with nous, we, or vous, you, plural, then you don't have an accent on it. So in a sense, it is a bit irregular in that you have to add the extra accent to it. But as a verb itself, in terms of its pronunciation, it follows very much the regular ER pattern, the E, ES, ONS, EZ, and ENT endings. And they're pronounced the exact same. It is interesting, since the 1990s, there has been an attempt to standardize the spelling and pronunciation of a lot of French words, particularly with those with the accent grave. So again, when you conjugate the verb, this is what it would look like. So, j'achète, tu achètes, il, elle, achètent, nous achetons, vous achetez, il, elle, ils achètent. So there you have it. That's the verb acheter, along with some interesting facts that your French teachers have probably never told you before. You're welcome. Until the next episode. Au revoir, salut, ciao.